This is the International Flat Fender Club's signature event, and it's being held here in Lathrop, Colorado. So come along and let's go jeeping.
Day 2 of the Fall Color Tour. We've got 3 rides going out today. I'm going to go up South Cottonwood, so we'll go up into the mountains.
Okay, my name's Ron Dennis. I've been associated with the Fall Colors Tour probably about 7 years now. I've been leading trails for about 5. I drive a 49 CJ 3A, mostly stock. A few little things to just improve reliability, but been able to do most every trail out here in a stock Jeep. So today we're going to be taking a group up over Hancock, Tamichi, over to White Pine. So some really nice mountain passes.
We're going to head for South Cottonwood Canyon and the 101st Memorial Cabin. Today we've got, looks like a little bit less than a dozen Jeeps going on this ride. We've already kicked 2 rides out of the Thirsty Dirt Ranch, and we'll be the 3rd ride out today.
We're all moving, Mikey.
Good deal. Are you the tail gunner today, Katie?
I think I am. I'm so excited.
Hi, my name is Kate. Katie did on the forum, and I'm tail gunner today on our ride, which means I'm herding cats.
In about 3 miles, we'll arrive at Cottonwood Lake, and we'll stop there for a potty break and a little bit of vehicle maintenance before we push on up the hill. It also kind of looks like maybe it's stayed warm up here in this canyon, because the aspen have barely started turning at all.
While Mike gives his group a 10-100 break, I'll tell you about my ride this week. Hi, Rick Payway for Gone Jeepin'. We're here at the 14th annual Fall Color Tour. We're taking 50 of these old Flat Fender Jeeps out into the mountains of Colorado. This one is a 48 CJ2A, and it's known as Tater. Just can't wait to see how it's going to do on some of these high altitude trails. Today I'm just freewheeling it, and I caught up with the second group with trail guide Bruce Walker and his Flattie. There's about 15 other Flatties, and we're all headed to the 4-mile trail. The Midland Railroad ran through these tunnels from 1883 to 1918. Now they make a perfect showcase for all of our Flatties. And on this trip alone, there was one of almost every vintage in attendance. Let's catch up with Mike and his group on the South Cottonwood Trail.
Okay, boss. We are all rolling.
All right, thank you much for that report. All right, we're just starting up the valley, and I've got to get my hubs engaged so I can use four-wheel drive. You can see looking up and down the road, it's a little bit on the rough side. Four-wheel drive is going to help us handle that road.
Want to see something funny? You want to see my emergency rear main seal leak? Just it's got a catch can. Road repair. The bucket of bolts is holding together. That's all I can ask for.
Okay, we've got our hubs locked in, the motors are all running, everybody's loaded. Let's go four-wheeling. Rolling, them wheelies rolling, gotta be up to rolling, rawhide.
Fall colors is gorgeous. We need to take more pictures. No lie. It's beautiful up here.
We dubbed this thing crap game. Kind of we won it on a hook and crook and wheeling and dealing, and it's been kind of a crap game.
We're from Chico, Texas.
In Chico, Texas, yeah. In, out, so we're good. All right. Well, it looks like there should be a spacer block between this fuel pump and the block to lower the pressure. So what's happening is my fuel pressure is too high, so when the float opens, it blasts the fuel in there, and it can't shut the fuel off fast enough, and so I flood out. So you drop the pressure, and so when the float says shut off the fuel, it shuts it off. It doesn't, have a hard time shutting it. So I've been running real good going uphill, running high RPMs, keeping that bowl low, but slow idling in high gear, this thing's just starting to flood out. So cut the fuel pressure down. The bowl doesn't fill up as nearly as fast. And hopefully everything will be honky-dory.
Our destination is right up there at the head of the valley underneath all that snow. We've got a Jeep that is having carburetor problems, and since we're so close to our destination, we're gonna hook him up on a tow rope and pull him up to the top so that we can adjust his carburetor during our lunch break. Okay, we've reached our lunch stop at our destination up in Mineral Basin. We're gonna do a little bit of surgery on the problem carburetor, see if we can get it rolling smoothly, and enjoy some scenery while we're up here. Looks like a beautiful day for it too.
Yep. Well, it turns out my fuel problem is down to a simple problem of no fuel, but I'm just kind of glad that was the problem and not the overpressure that we had earlier in the day. So this Jeep is, I've only owned it about a year and a half, so I'm working the bugs out one at a time. And that's the fun of this whole adventure.
Okay, let's everybody load up, fire up, and get ready to roll. I'd like to get us in a line. We're gonna try a video shot of the whole line from the front. We finished our lunch break a little bit ago. We're headed back down the mountain, and Sam filled up his gas tank from my gas can because his Jeep is sucking a little bit of fuel. Now we're going to head up the mountain on a different route, and we're going to go up to a 101st Division Memorial Cabin. We're gonna ride through Cottonwood Creek, and the creek is up right now. It's a little higher than it usually is.
Oh, well, this has been a pretty good trail going through the creek and up. Now if the rain will just hold off.
We should have been up to the top of the mountain by 2 o'clock.
All I got to say is it better rain hard after all this effort.
We're gonna go backwards down the mountain so that we can get into position to be able to pull the next Jeep up the mountain to a place where he can get turned around. His engine isn't working well. He's not gonna be able to make it up the mountain without some assistance. So we're gonna pull him up about 50 yards here to a wide spot where he can turn around safely. And then he and one other Jeep are going to go back down the mountain.
I have nothing to say.
We'll go home.
This is what happens when Flatlanders come to Colorado. I think my fuel pump puked. I don't know. We went from flooding to starving for fuel. Cranked the fuel pressure thing all the way to 6. Didn't make any difference.
I'm going to pull you up here about 50 yards. There's a switchback that's fairly wide.
Keeping these flatties running right takes a lot of work, especially those coming from lower altitudes. Of course, the wear and tear of 80-year-old parts and pieces makes it a challenge as well. Dan's not the only one having troubles on the trail. So what the problem is we have a bad key switch. Hi there, I'm Rick Payway for Gone Jeepin', and we got the tech tip of the day for you. We're working on Tater, which has a F134 engine. And unfortunately, it keeps dying because the key switch kills power to the coil, so then it dies. So what we're going to do is use a hot wire. It's going to go from the positive terminal to the coil. And that way, even if the key switch decides to die again, it will continue to run. Of course, to turn the engine off, we'll have to come out and unhook the wire. Hence the term hot wiring a car. Well, you can't see in here very well.
If you drape up over the top here and then go down to it.
I think so.
And there is a stretch of it that does not have any insulation on the tab.
Okay, so now we have the coil hooked to the hot wire. Now the wire is going to become hot. You can see this little sparks there. Oh, nice. All right, now we'll see how it continues to run. We should be okay.
Clear.
All right, Tater is fixed, so let's catch up with Mike and his group and see how they're doing.
Okay, we are just passing 11,000 feet and climbing with a wide open view of the valley below. All right, we're here on the ridge between the South Cottonwood drainage and the Chalk Creek drainage at the 101st Airborne Memorial Cabin. And this is the end of our adventure for today, at least as far as how high we're going and how far out we're going. From here, we're going to head back to Thirsty Dirt Ranch.
This is unbelievable.
Thanks for watching these trail rides on the Fall Color Tour. With over 50 Flatties from across the U.S., we have features on special Jeeps like Pigpen and the Gangsta. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe on Gone Jeepin'.